The very first question of the exercise is miscellaneous exercise chapter number 10 vector algebra class 12 subject mathematics. Write down a unit vector in xy plane making an angle of 30 degree with the positive direction of x axis. So here firstly we draw the xyz plane, three dimensional plane. So this way suppose we have the three axes, x axis, y axis and z axis perpendicular to each other. Like this I am going to draw the three axes. Suppose this is x axis, y axis and z axis. O is the origin. Suppose P is any point in xy plane. Now in xy plane what we know, z coordinate is 0, right? So OP, joining OP, this is the required vector OP. Now what is given? This OP vector is a unit vector, so its distance, this is equal to r and this is equal to 1, right? So what we now say, we draw perpendicular on x axis from this point P making an angle 30 degree with x axis. So this is x unit distance OP. Suppose this is point Q. OQ is x unit in the direction of x axis, so we say x unit xi. I cap mean in the direction of x axis, x unit distance. Similarly y unit distance in y axis, so j cap is in the direction of y axis. So here OP r value is 1. Now what we know, x upon r is equal to cos theta. So x coordinate is equal to r into cos theta. R itself is 1, one unit vector. Cos theta, cos 30 degree. Cos 30 degree value is square root of 3 upon 2. Similarly, y upon r is equal to sin theta. This is right angled triangle. So y upon r is equal to sin theta. Y is equal to r sin theta. That means y is equal to r is 1 sin 30 degree. That means y is equal to 1 upon 2. Therefore, OP is the required unit vector, which is equal to xi plus yj. That means x is square root of 3 upon 2 I unit plus y is 1 upon 2 j. So this is the required unit vector in xy plane making an angle 30 degree with the positive direction of x axis. Question number 2, find the scalar components and magnitude of the vector joining the points P x1 y1 z1 and Q x2 y2 z2. Again suppose we have the xyz plane, x y z, three dimensional plane, origin O. So here suppose P is any point, coordinates are x1 y1 z1. Q is another point, coordinates are x2 y2 z2. Now we are required to find the unit the vector PQ. So this way PQ vector is required to be find out. So for this purpose, this is OP, this is OQ. So PQ vector is equal to position vector of Q minus position vector of P. So this becomes x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap plus z2 minus z1 k cap, right? So this way, first part, find the scalar components. Therefore scalar components of PQ vector are x2 minus x1 comma y2 minus y1 comma z2 minus z1. Second part is find the magnitude. So here magnitude of PQ is equal to, symbolically we write this way, which is equal to square root of sum of the squares of scalar components, that is x2 minus x1 whole square, y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. Question number 3. A girl walks 4 km towards west, then she walks 3 km in a direction 30 degree east of north and stops. Determine the girl's displacement from her initial point of departure. Here we have the direction diagram. Upward we have north direction, downward we have south direction, rightward we have east direction, and leftward we have west direction. In the beginning, this is the initial point O. Girl walks 4 km towards west. So this way she walks up to here. Suppose A is the point, and from O to A, the distance covered, OA, distance covered is equal to 4 km. After O, she walks 3 km in a direction 30 degree east of north. So parallel to north south direction. This was north direction, 30 degree east of north. From here, east side is this. This is the 30 degree angle, right? So this way, east of north, she walks 3 km. Suppose from O to B, this distance is 3 km. That is A to B, this distance is 3 km. Now what is the question? Find O to B. What is the distance O to B? O to B distance. Determine girl's displacement from her initial point. Now here what we see, if this angle is 30 degree, obviously this angle will be 60 degree angle, right? So now in this triangle OAB, triangle OAB, we use the cosine formula. What is cosine formula? We have cos theta, cos 60 degree is equal to the sides which are making this 60-degree angle, they are AB side plus its whole square plus OA side its whole square minus opposite side is OB whole divide 2 times multiplying these two sides, that is side AB into side OA, magnitudes. So this way we have cos 60 degree mean 1 upon 2 is equal to AB this is 3 kilometer and OA is 4 kilometer. So AB is 3 kilometer, 3 whole square plus OA is 4 whole square minus OB distance magnitude its whole square divide 2 times AB AB is 3 into OA is 4. So this way what we can say 1 upon 2 is equal to 9 plus 16 minus OB magnitude its whole square divide 4 into 3 12, 12 into 2 24. So we say cross multiplying now 24 is equal to 16 plus 9 25, 25 into 2 50 minus 2 times into magnitude of OB whole square. So this way OB magnitude of OB whole square is equal to 50 minus 24 which is 26, 26 upon 2 13. That means OB magnitude is equal to square root of 13 unit. Unit mean here unit is kilometer. Question number 4. If vector A is equal to vector B plus vector C, then is it true that magnitude of vector A is also equal to magnitude of vector B plus magnitude of vector C? Justify your answer. Now here we start from the given condition. What is given? Vector A is equal to vector B plus vector C. Now what we do? We take magnitude both sides. So we have magnitude of vector A is equal to magnitude of vector B plus C. What is right hand side? B plus C. This is number 1. Now what we know? We know that suppose B and C are two vectors and theta is the angle between B and C vector. Then how we write? Vector B dot product vector C divide magnitude of vector B into magnitude of vector C. So this way we write B vector dot C vector is equal to magnitude of vector B into magnitude of vector C into cos theta. Right? So we apply this condition. Where we are going to apply this condition? Suppose we take the square B vector plus C vector magnitude its whole square, which can be written as magnitude of B whole square plus magnitude of C whole square plus 2 times magnitude of B into magnitude of B plus C whole square is equal to magnitude of vector B plus magnitude of vector C its whole square. This is possible only if here we have cos theta and this is equal to theta is equal to 0 degree, only then cos theta will be equal to 1, cos 0 is equal to 1. So taking square root now, we can say magnitude of b plus c is equal to magnitude of b plus magnitude of c. That is, what is magnitude of b plus c? B plus c, the value of b plus c is vector a. So vector a, its magnitude is equal to vector b plus vector c, its magnitude, is possible only for theta equal to 0 degree. Okay, so according to the question, if a vector equal to b vector plus c, then is it true that magnitude of a equal to magnitude of b plus vector c? So no, answer is no, because justify your answer. This is true only for theta is equal to 0 degree. Question number 5. Find the value of x for which x into I cap plus j cap plus k cap is a unit vector. So what is the unit vector? This is a unit vector if xi plus xj plus xk, this is the given vector, the square root of the corresponding components of x axis I cap, j cap and k cap, they are x whole square plus j cap coefficient is x whole square plus k cap coefficient is x its whole square. Okay, so this is equal to square root of 3x square. We can write square root of 3 into x. So this way required unit vector is equal to, we divide each component by this, that is xi divide square root of 3 into x plus xj divide square root 3x plus xk divide square root of 3x, x cancelled, so we have 1 upon square root of 3i plus 1 upon square root of 3j plus 1 upon square root of 3 k cap. So this is the required unit vector, that is, so the value of x is equal to 1 upon square root 3, because x into I, x into j, x into k, so 1 upon square root 3 is the value of x. Question number 6. Find a unit vector of magnitude 5 units and parallel to the resultant of the vectors vector a equal to 2i plus 3j plus minus k and vector b is equal to I minus 2j plus k. So here we consider C as the unit resultant vector. Resultant mean adding the given vectors, vector A plus vector B. So corresponding components of I, j and k, they are to be added, that is 2 plus 1, 3i, 3 minus 2, 1j, minus 1 plus 1, 0k. Right? So in order to find the unit vector, we have to find the magnitude of this vector, which is equal to square of I coefficient is 3, its square, plus j coefficient is 1, its whole square, plus k coefficient is 0, its whole square. So this is equal to square root of 9 plus 1, which is equal to square root of 10. So find a unit vector of magnitude 5. We have to multiply this by 5. Therefore 5 into magnitude of vector c is equal to 5 into square root of 10. Sorry, required unit vectors. Required unit vector is equal to, we have to multiply this by 5. 5 into c cap, that is 5 into c vector divide magnitude of c vector, that is equal to 5. What is c vector? This is 3i plus j. And what is magnitude of c? This is square root of 10. So this is the required unit vector. Question number 7. If vector a is equal to I plus j plus k, vector b is equal to 2i minus j plus 3k, and vector c is equal to I minus 2j plus k, find a unit vector parallel to the vector 2a minus vector b plus vector 3 vector c. So here, what is the value of 2a minus vector b plus 3 vector c? This is equal to, multiplying this by 2, 2 into vector a is I plus j plus k, minus vector b, vector b is 2i minus j plus 3k, plus 3 into vector c is I minus 2j plus k. So this is equal to 2i plus 2j plus 2k minus 2i plus 2j, sorry, plus j minus 3k plus 3i minus 3 into 2 6j plus 3k. So this becomes 2i cancelled, 3i, 2j plus 1j, 3j minus 6j minus 3j, 2k minus 3k minus 1k, this becomes plus 2k, right? So find a unit vector parallel to this vector. So let the name of this vector is d. D vector is equal to 3i minus 3j plus 2k, right? Now in order to make this unit vector, we have to find the magnitude of this d, which is equal to square root of 9 plus 9 plus 4, square root of 22, right? So required unit vector is equal to vector d divide magnitude of vector d, which is equal to 3i minus 3j plus 2k divide square root of 22. Question number 8. Show that the points a 1 minus 2 minus 8, b 5 0 minus 2, and c is the point 11 3 7 are collinear, and find the ratio in which b divides ac. So here we find first of all what is the magnitude of vector ab, which is equal to 5 minus 1 I cap its whole square plus 0 minus minus plus 2 whole square plus minus 2 plus 8 whole square then its square root, which is equal to square root of 4 whole square 16, 4 plus 6 whole square 36, this is 40, 56, square root of 56. Next we have BC, which is equal to square root of BC 11 minus 5, 6 whole square, 11 minus 5 is equal to 6, 6 whole square is equal to 36, plus 3 minus 0 whole square is 9, 7 minus minus plus 2, 7 plus 2 9, 9 whole square is 81, so this is equal to 90, 126, right? Similarly AC magnitude will be equal to square root of AC 11 minus 1 10, 10 whole square is 100, plus 3 minus minus plus 2, 3 plus 2 5, 5 whole square is 25, plus 7 minus minus plus 7 plus 8 15, 15 whole square 225, this is equal to 250, 350, 350. Now what is 56? Prime factorization, 2 2s are 4, 8 2s are 16. Next we have 2, 14 2s are. Similarly for 126, the prime factorizations are 6, 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 1s are 3, 3 7, 7 into 2 again 14. Next we have for 350 also, we have 2, 7, 5, 5, we have 5 into 3 15, 2 5 5s are 25, 5 7, so from here this is 14, 2 into 7 is 14, 2 into 7 is 14, so we are left with 56 can be written as 2 into square root of 14, 126 can be written as 3 into square root of 14, 350 can be written as 5 into square root of 14, right? What does this mean? This means that we have one straight line, there are 3 points on this straight line, the here a greatest length is AC, this is AC, in between there is B point, right? So what we say, AC distance is 5 into square root 14, so we say AC distance is equal to AB distance plus BC distance. If we are able to write this way, this implies that 3 points A, B, C are collinear. Okay, so if we are in the position that we can write this way, this implies that the 3 points are collinear, right? Now what is the ratio? We see here AB distance divide BC distance is equal to, this is 2 square root 14 divide 3 square root 14, square root 14 cancelled, so 2 upon 3, so this is the 2 ratio 3. So what we say, B divides AC line segment in the ratio, internally in the ratio 2 ratio 3. Question number 9. Find the position vector of a point R which divides the line joining 2 points P and Q whose position vectors are 2 into vector A plus vector B and vector A minus 3 times vector B externally in the ratio 1:2, right? So first of all, suppose we are given here 2 points. This is the rough diagram. Suppose I take R in between. Instead of taking externally point, I am taking internally point. Okay, rough idea. So this is P and this is Q, right? Externally mean we write the ratio as, in place of 1:2 we write 1:-2, right? This implies that R is outside P and Q, right? Now 1 will be multiplied here with the coordinate of Q, -2 will be multiplied with the coordinates of point P. This way R will be obtained. Now what is P? The P point is 2 vector A plus vector B. And what is Q? This is vector A minus 3 into vector B, right? So this way the position vector of R, we can say the position vector of R will be equal to 1 into A vector minus 3B minus 2 into vector A plus vector B divide 1 minus 2, right? So this is equal to A minus 3B minus 4A minus 2B divide minus 1. So therefore position vector of R is equal to A minus 4A is minus 3, minus 3 upon minus 1 is 3 vector A, minus 3B minus 2B minus 5B upon minus 1 becomes plus 5 vector B. So this is the required vector. Now what is our question? Second part, show that P is the midpoint of the line segment RQ. So here we make the rough diagram where P is the midpoint. This is P and RQ, this is R and this is Q. So P, the coordinate position vector of R we have obtained 3 vector A plus 5 vector B, right? The coordinates of Q are vector A minus 3 into vector B. Now what is P? Here P is equal to 3A plus A divide 2, comma 5B minus 3B, 5B minus 3B divide 2. So what are the coordinates of P? 3 plus 1, 4, 4 upon 2, 2 vector A, 5 minus 3, 2, 2 upon 2, 1, plus B vector. So what was this? 2A plus vector B. Yes, this is true. This was point P, position vector of P. This was position vector of Q. So we have proved that P is the midpoint of the line segment joining the points R and Q. Question number 10. The two adjacent sides of a parallelogram are 2i minus 4j plus 5k and I minus 2j minus 3k. Find the unit vector parallel to its diagonals. Also find its area. So the diagram of the parallelogram is A, B, C, D. Suppose this is the parallelogram. Now here we have two diagonals. suppose AD, this is vector A, and AB, this is vector B, right? Now first diagonal joining the points A and C, from A to C, this is diagonal 1. Now how to find this diagonal 1? D1 vector is equal to vector A plus vector B. How? Because parallel to vector AD we have this vector BC. So what says the triangle law? This says that vector diagonal is equal to vector B plus vector A. So vector A plus vector B is the diagonal 1, right? Now what we can say here, what is A vector? This is 2i minus 4j plus 5k. And what is vector B? This is I minus 2j minus 3k. So answer is 2 plus 1, 3i, minus 4 minus 2 minus 6j, 5 minus 3, 2k. So what we need to find the unit vector parallel to its diagonal. So we need to find d1, its magnitude is equal to square root of coefficient of I is 3, its square 9, minus 6 whole square is 36, 2 whole square is 4. So this becomes 49, which is equal to square root of 49 is 7. Therefore first diagonal, which is unit vector, which is equal to d upon magnitude of d is equal to 3 upon 7i minus 6 upon 7j plus 2 upon 7k, right? This is diagonal 1. Similarly we can find the second diagonal. Here if we have the parallelogram A, B, C, D, this is A vector, this is B vector. So this is the second diagonal BD. BD is the second diagonal D2. So what says the parallelogram triangle law? B vector plus D vector, D2 vector is equal to vector A. So this way we can say D2 diagonal is equal to vector A minus vector B, right? That means what is vector A minus vector B? 2 minus 1 is I, minus 4 plus 2 minus 2j, 5 plus 3 plus 8k. Again we need to find the unit vector parallel to its diagonal. Therefore D2 vector, its magnitude is equal to square root of 1 plus 4 plus 64. This is equal to 68, 69. That means 13. So required second diagonal unit vector is equal to vector D, D2 upon unit magnitude of vector D2, which is equal to 1 upon 13 I cap minus 2 upon 13 j cap plus 8 upon 13 k cap. This was the first part, find the unit vector parallel to its diagonal. Second part is also find the area of the parallelogram. So in order to find the area of the parallelogram, we find the cross product. Cross product of vector A cross vector B, that is equal to, we write I cap, j cap, k cap. Coefficients of A vector are 2 minus 4 5, 2 minus 4 5. Coefficients of B vector are 1 minus 2 minus 3, 1 minus 2 minus 3. So solving this, we have I cap into 4 into 3 12, minus minus plus 5 into 2 10, plus j cap into 5 minus minus plus 3 into 2 6, plus k cap into minus 4 minus minus plus 4, right? So this way 12 plus 10 22 I, 5 plus 6 11 j, this is 0 k. So required area of parallelogram is equal to magnitude of cross product of A cross B, which is equal to square root of coefficient of I is 22, its whole square. So 22 whole square plus coefficient of J is 11, 11 whole square. So what we can say, taking 11 square common, that is 11 into 2, 2 square, that is 4 plus 1, that is 11 into square root 5 square unit. Square unit is the area of the required parallelogram. Question number 11. Show that direction cosines of a vector equally inclined to the axes OX, OY and OZ are 1 upon square root 3, 1 upon square root 3, 1 upon square root 3. So we consider here alpha to be the angle which is equally inclined to the axis. So what are the direction cosines? They are cos alpha, cos alpha, cos alpha. That is, this is L, this is M, this is N. Now one condition we know, that L square plus M square plus N square is equal to 1 in case of direction cosines, for the direction cosines. So we apply this condition here. This becomes cos square alpha plus cos square alpha plus cos square alpha equal to 1. That is 3 into cos square alpha equal to 1. That means cos square alpha equal to 1 upon 3. So cos alpha is equal to 1 upon square root 3. Therefore cos alpha comma cos alpha comma cos alpha are the direction cosines. That means direction cosines are 1 upon square root 3, 1 upon square root 3 comma 1 upon square root 3. Question number 12. Let A is equal to I plus 4j plus 2k, B vector equal to 3i minus 2j plus 7k, and C vector equal to 2i minus j plus 4k. Find a vector D which is perpendicular to both vector A and vector B, and vector C dot vector D is equal to 15. So firstly, any vector D which is perpendicular to vector A and B, that can be obtained by finding the cross product of vector A and vector B. This implies D is perpendicular to vector A and D vector is perpendicular to vector B. So here we just find the cross product of vector A and vector B. So what is the cross product? How to find this cross product? I, J, K. Coefficients of I, J, K of A vector are 1, 4, 2. B vector are 3, minus 2, 7. So this becomes I cap into 4 into 7, 28, minus minus plus 4, minus J vector. 1 into 7 is 7, minus K vector, K cap into minus 2, minus 12. This is equal to 32I, 7 minus 6, 1, minus J cap, minus 14 K. Therefore, any vector which is perpendicular to vector A and vector B is equal to D vector into lambda, which is equal to 32 lambda I minus lambda J minus 14 lambda K. Now second condition is C dot D vector is equal to 15. So here we can say this way, D vector, right? So C vector dot D vector is equal to 15. This is given. What is C? C vector is 2I minus J plus 4K dot D vector is 32 lambda I minus lambda J minus 14 lambda K is equal to 15. So here we have 2 into 32, 60, coefficient of I dot I is 1, so 64 lambda. Next is plus lambda, minus 1 plus 1 lambda, minus 4 into 14, 56 lambda is equal to 15. So this becomes 64 plus 1, 65, minus 56 is 9. 9 lambda is equal to 15. That means lambda is equal to 15 upon 9. 5 3s are 15, 3 3s are 9. Right? So this way, what is the required unit vector? Find a vector D. So D vector becomes 5 upon 3 into 32 I cap minus J cap minus 14 K cap. This is the required vector. Question number 13. The scalar product of the vector I plus J plus K with a unit vector along the sum of the vectors 2I plus 4J minus 5K and lambda I plus 2J plus 3K is equal to 1. Find the value of lambda. So here the very first step is with a unit vector along the sum of vectors. So sum of vectors, which are the vectors? 2I is equal to, suppose, D. So here D vector is equal to 2I plus 4J minus 5K plus lambda I plus 2J plus. So here we have the value of vector D is equal to 2 plus lambda I cap plus 4 plus 2 6 j cap minus 5 plus 3 minus k cap minus 2k minus 2k, right? But we need to find the unit vector. So here we find the magnitude of vector d, which becomes square root of 2 plus lambda whole square plus 6 whole square plus minus 2 whole square is 4, which is equal to 4 plus 4 lambda plus lambda square plus 40, which is equal to 44 square root of lambda square plus 4 lambda plus 44, right? So this way d unit vector becomes 2 plus lambda I cap plus 6j minus 2k whole divide this magnitude square root of lambda square plus 4 lambda plus 44. Now second condition is unit vector along the sum of the vectors is equal to 1. What is 1? Scalar product of this vector. So here the given vector is I plus j plus k, I plus j plus k. Scalar product means dot product with this resultant vector. What is the resultant vector? 2 plus lambda I plus 6j minus 2k divide square root of lambda square plus 4 lambda plus 44 is equal to 1, right? Now we solve this. It becomes 2 plus lambda plus 6 minus 2 divide lambda square plus 4 lambda, it will go to right hand side, becomes square root of lambda square plus 4 lambda plus 44. Now squaring both sides, or firstly this becomes, left side becomes 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6 plus lambda, its whole square, right side square root will be cancelled after squaring, so lambda square plus 4 lambda plus 44, right? Now this implies 6 plus lambda square means 36 plus 12 lambda plus lambda square is equal to lambda square plus 4 lambda plus 44. Lambda square is cancelled now, both sides. Left side 12 lambda minus 4 lambda becomes 8 lambda. So 44 minus 36 is equal to 8. So this gives the value of lambda equal to 1. So what we can say? The scalar, we find the value of lambda. So lambda value is 1. Question number 14. If vector A, comma B, comma C are mutually perpendicular vectors of equal magnitude. So equal magnitude mean vector A magnitude equal to vector B magnitude equal to vector C magnitude. Suppose the value is equal to lambda, the very first condition. Second condition, they are mutually perpendicular. So we write vector A dot vector B equal to 0, comma vector B dot vector C also equal to 0, comma vector C dot vector A is also equal to 0. So these two conditions are given, right? Now show that the vector A plus B plus C is equally inclined to A, B and C. Now let vector A plus vector B plus C is equal to D vector. Now we suppose that they are not equally inclined. So number one case, suppose A vector and D vector are inclined to each other at an angle alpha. Second part, we solve vector B and D are inclined to each other at an angle beta. And third part, we say vector C and vector D are inclined to each other at an angle lambda. So what we follow now, we say that cos alpha is equal to A vector dot D, but the value of D is A vector plus B vector plus C vector divide magnitude of A into magnitude of D vector, right? Similarly, here we say cos beta is equal to B vector dot D. D is A plus B plus C dot divide magnitude of B into magnitude of vector D. Third time we have cos gamma is equal to C dot D vector is A plus B plus C, right? Divide magnitude of C into magnitude of vector D, right? Now here A dot A cos alpha, A dot A is magnitude of A whole square, A dot B is 0, A dot C is 0, divide magnitude of A is lambda, or we say magnitude of A into magnitude of vector D. Again cos beta is also equal to, similarly here we have magnitude of B whole square upon magnitude of B into magnitude of D. Cos gamma, here we have magnitude of C whole square divide magnitude of C into magnitude of vector D. So what is given? Magnitude of A, B, C, they are all equal to 1 lambda. So this way this becomes 1 upon lambda upon magnitude of vector D. This is also equal to lambda upon magnitude of vector D, and third one is also equal to lambda upon magnitude of vector D. So what is the conclusion? Cos alpha is same, cos beta is same, cos gamma is same. This implies alpha, beta, gamma, they are equal. So D is equally inclined to A vector, B vector and C vector. Question number 15. Prove that vector A plus vector B dot vector A plus vector B is equal to magnitude of A square plus magnitude of B square if and only if vector A and vector B are perpendicular. This is also given that vector A is not a zero vector, vector B is also not a zero vector. So here we start vector A plus vector B dot product vector A plus vector B. This means vector A first term dot product second bracket vector A plus vector B plus second term B vector dot product second bracket A vector plus B vector. So this is equal to A dot A plus A dot B vector plus B dot A plus B dot B. This means magnitude of A whole square plus A dot B vector plus B dot A vector is also A dot B, so 2 times A dot B vector plus magnitude of B whole square. Now what if A and B are perpendicular? If A is perpendicular to vector B, then vector A dot vector B is equal to 0. So this product, this becomes magnitude of A whole square plus magnitude of B whole square. So this dot product is equal to magnitude of A whole square plus magnitude of B square only if and only if A and B are perpendicular. That's all. Thank you very much.